Gavin. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Should be good.
What are we doing right now? Or what are we right now?
Oh,
Or
I think fuck, what's it called?
are
Oh
we
yeah,
live?
we're live, baby. Yeah, we have a really interesting one, which I guess is kind of fitting for the current what's it called?
Oh, the current
Um
status or like the current trends going on right now.
yeah, current trends. Um yeah, that Dahmer film right now is one getting a lot of heat. Two, people are calling it a cinematic masterpiece,
Oh, dude,
and
yeah,
three, people are kind of sick.
yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
so are we.
yeah, no, it's definitely it's definitely something that I don't think should ever have been made. I don't understand, but I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things where I think people are just very interested. Sorry for the ear rape there. People are very interested in serial killers. I don't think they should have went about it that way, but
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna go into it that way.
yeah.
Well, pause. But yeah, dude, I'm actually really excited for this. When you mentioned doing this one last was it or this Tuesday? This Tuesday.
Yeah.
Came over. We were getting some logistics done. I was like, you know what? This is gonna be one. This is a good one too.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Um,
it's I'm excited for it. I'm excited to dive in because I did a paper or like a presentation or something on this, not like on what he like him, but like he just like the like how his brain worked for a psych class, and yeah, it's a lot. So
yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. And it's kind of interesting to think that like this. I wouldn't say this happened so long ago, but I mean, he died in the '80s, and
so
it is now what?
right, yeah, sorry, I don't know. You said the 80s, but I thought like the 90s or something. Like I don't know. Never mind.
I mean, it was
Um,
like towards the end of the '80s,
but yeah,
late
but
to mid
no.
'80s.
But yeah, no, yeah, Ed Gein is you know, is definitely somebody that you could, if you're a psych major, you could dive into this.
The
Um,
Freudian aspect of it, I swear to God, if Sigmund Freud really dove into this fucking man,
oh man,
I swear to God, there wouldn't be a single book written about anything for psychology. It would just all be Ed Gein,
yeah,
Ed Gein, like because you look at it, right? You listen to podcasts, you listen to YouTube videos, you do research, you do all this stuff, and you really look at it. It's like, dude, this guy's a sick fuck.
yeah,
And I could not believe it. I remember hearing about this case. I think I was like 16, maybe 17. And when you like listen to something like this, it's you're like, oh my god, this is so creepy. Is this really gonna happen? But you don't really think it's like a real thing. And then you know, you do more research on it, and you're like, oh my god, people are like this on a day to day basis.
well, yeah, I mean, and then the other
Well,
thing
not
too is,
not a serial killer, but
well, yeah, but he was like, I would say one of the most gruesome serial killers like ever. I think
yeah, I would
he
agree.
he did some. Well, we'll get into it, but yeah, so to go into like the background, I guess, of him. Um, he was born in the turn of the century, in the 1908, um, or 1906, whatever those
Yep, 1908. Yeah, August
1908.
27th, 1908.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and he was born in. I mean, I understand kind of why he went nuts. He was born in Wisconsin.
nothing but
Nothing
cheese,
but cheese
beer.
and disappointing quarterbacks. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, so you look at him, and like so basically whenever anybody listens to like talks about Ed Gein, they're always talking about what the police like found like within his house and like how like I mean like that kind of thing. But the thing is, he was a serial killer, but he's only been confirmed to have had murdered two people.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's which is wild because like when they found him, right? They found uh Bernice Warden's body, but then yeah, you were saying, and everyone was always talking about like the heads
Hmm.
on his post, the
Well,
skulls.
hang on. Let's not get too crazy too fast.
That's fair. That's
Let's
fair.
not get too crazy too fast. Um, but like a lot of people that you and I know, um, Ed Gein also had family issues.
Mm.
So he definitely had, and I mean, it's publicized that he had mommy issues, but he had parent issues,
Oh yeah,
not just mommy issues.
without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah, he was. I mean, so sidebar, actually, a lot back then, parenting and like family dynamics were so different back then. Like love was like not like you know what I mean like every if you like the vast majority of times I hear about like even like my grandparents or like like their lives and everything, it's like so hard, like so difficult to be alive then.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I was like, well, and he suffered the same fate. He was born even earlier than my grandparents by like 10 years, um, and so he's basically his dad was an alcoholic and his mom was abusive, right?
Yeah, very abusive.
Yeah.
She like I said with the whole Freudian thing, if he looked at his just mom dynamic, it I don't want to say this because it's kind of fucked up because I know like a lot of us have mommy issues. Well, I mean, you and I are a little bit more extreme than most, but yeah, she was the one that showed him his first butchering. And a lot of them, and a lot of people are saying nowadays that that could have been a big link between his love for his mom and her abuse towards him,
Uh huh.
and then obviously his brain at that age is linking him to it all,
Right.
right? And it was weird because someone like your mom, right? You look at it as this person protects me, this person loves me, she birthed me. You have this attachment to them naturally, right? And this is the same person that's causing you strife, anger, frustration, looking for approval, and you're not getting it. And it comes to that point where it's like, well, uh, you can almost not see why he turned into what he was, but you can kind of see the road he was going down, which is kind of fucked up.
Well, it's something
But
that I think you can kind of understand why he did what he did more so than why like somebody like a Jeffrey Dahmer did what they did. Jeffrey
mhm,
Dahmer grew up in like a good neighborhood.
yeah,
His family was pretty well off, like middle class, middle, of the road. Um, you know, doing good. Like they went to a good high school, had friend, like had friends, had a
yeah,
good life.
yeah, oh
The
yeah,
only thing was with him, his mom was a little crazy. Not crazy, but this is the thing is when you watch like a Dahmer case and you're like, oh my god, she like freaked out at the dad and like this that and a third,
hmm
and you can understand. You're like, oh yeah, she is nuts. But then you take that and then you go, is she nuts? Because you look at what Gein's mom did to him,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
I don't think that you can classify them both as the same crazy or like even in the same ballpark as crazy because Gein's mom was
no,
nuts.
you can't. She
Um,
certifiably nuts because
yeah.
like you feel bad for someone like Dahmer. Well, in a respectful,
What? No, you don't
you know.
feel some bad for someone
I'm
like
not. I'm
Dahmer.
not saying. I'm not saying I feel bad for him. I'm saying like that situation. People look and they're like, "Oh man, what a poor kid."
Yeah.
Like not him as like an adult. Like,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like as a child, you go, "Oh, that sucks." That would mess up a kid.
Yeah.
But then you look at something like Ed Gein, and they're not even in the same ballpark.
No. I mean, look at what with Dahmer's mom. Not to do a comparison here, but Dahmer's mom freaked out and like was then neglecting him kind of, was too
Yeah,
busy doing whatever she was doing, like
mm-hmm.
getting drunk or
Popping
leaving,
pills.
popping pills, leaving the parent, like
Yep.
leaving the dad. Like he just wasn't, whatever. Was more interested in raising his brother than him, really.
Sure.
Um,
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
but you look at someone like Ed Gein's mom. Um, she showed him his first butchering, right?
Yep. Yep.
When he was 12, she dumped boiling hot water on him when she caught him masturbating
In the tub.
in the
Dude,
tub,
that's wild.
right?
Imagine just cranking one out. Your mom's like, "No, the devil," and just, oh, dude,
Well,
I
that's
would,
that's the thing is it's like and like that's something that like if it happened to like a normal human, like a normal person, they would never talk to their mom again. They would never. But not
hmm
only did he continue to live with his mom and like talk to his mom and like interact with his mom, he loved his mom. Like, you know what I mean?
especially in a weird way. Yeah.
I mean, like
hmm
everyone loves their mom, even if you're not close or whatever it is. You love your mom, or you at least have love for your
Yeah.
family,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But like this lady was not a good human being.
No, not
Like,
even in the slightest.
you know, um, she literally like and if you think about it, she kind of she got her wish, but then she also had karma for her wish, in regards to Ed Gein's dad, because she prayed for his death. Like, she prayed for her husband to die because she hated him so much, and then eventually he did die from
Hmm.
alcoholism.
What's wild is like she would pray about that. Like she'd be like, God, or like physically
Yeah,
we'll get on our hands and knees and pray
yeah,
in front of Ed's father
yeah.
and Ed. So now you have a mother who not only is a fucking wild person,
Mm-hmm.
but is praying for his father,
Yep,
this man, this first man in his life, to die.
yep,
And like just the aspect of just processing that as a normal person, not like a psycho killer,
yeah.
is wild. Like
And
you're just setting this kid up for failure.
well, I mean, he did not get the good straw. Like, he got the short end of the straw on parents, I think.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree.
but yeah, no, and I mean, she got, like I said, she got her wish, you know. But she poured boiling water on him. She showed him his first butchering. She sheltered him, didn't let him have friends, didn't let him, interact with people, didn't let him live his life, because maybe he would have had some semblance of normalcy if he was able to do that. Who knows? But she didn't allow it. And then, like I said, she prayed for his dad to die, and eventually his dad did die. Now, his dad wasn't a great person either. He's threatening to leave the family over and over and over
Mhm.
again. Um, and just making their lives. I would assume, from what I've read and what I've heard, is that he was more so like stereotypical, like, make me a
Drunk.
sandwich,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'll beat your ass, boy. Like that kind of thing.
Well, what's
Um,
wild is too is like at that time that wasn't the no, I don't want to say norm, but it wasn't abnormal for a man in the early '90s to say something like that. Like listen,
it's because
I
of the
like it
war, I
on rye
think.
with American cheese. It's what?
I think it's because of the wars.
Well, yeah. I
If you
mean,
think
when
about it, right? It wasn't like nowadays. You got, like, all respect to everybody that's in the military, right? Like, utmost
yes, yeah,
respect to everybody that's in the military. But back then it was a different ball game, right? Like, you were like World War One. Yeah, it was nuts, right? So you got guys coming out of World War One and being mentally just deteriorated and jacked
done.
up, and now they're going and what, starting families, and that's how this kind of thing happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, literally, Hitler was a product of World War One.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but but yeah, no, the like I said, the mom got her wish, and his dad died of alcoholism. I think it was officially listed as alcoholism, so it
Yeah.
was probably like
Mhm.
alcohol poisoning, or just shot his liver, or whatever it was.
That'll do it.
But what's funny is she got her wish. Then karma, right, came
Karma's a bitch, man.
Karma came
Karma
and
is
was
a
like,
bitch.
"We'll hit you double time," because she had not one but two strokes, and so her husband died. She had a stroke, so that's instantaneous karma. Then, guess what?
What?
Numero dos. she had
Ah,
she
got
saw
him
she saw
twice.
like her neighbor saw her neighbor beating a dog to death, and then she like freaked out because people were like chastising her for something, and then had a stroke. And then she ended up
See,
her health deteriorated, and she ended up dying shortly after that.
I mean, well, when you have two strokes, I can't imagine one that you're consuming appropriate things for your health. Two,
Yeah,
if her stress-induced strokes, I mean, aside from her husband dying, it's almost like you ask for it. Like you legitimately asked for him to die
yeah,
in front of your son, in front of him, and then he dies, and now you want to get all emotional. No, be a fucking or a woman.
yeah,
Be a strong human being. And you know what? I asked for this. I'm a nut up. You know. But no, you have a stroke. You're a pussy.
yeah. I don't
Get
think.
that shit out of here, bro.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think she expected that to happen. But all of that, right, is happening. and it turns Ed boy over here into a problem.
Very big
Um,
problem.
so like I said, he only had two murders like confirmed. He was suspected of killing seven people, but two that were
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yep.
Being those those two murders. So the first unfortunate murder that he obviously took part in was the murder of Bernice Warden,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who is a 58-year-old hardware store clerk. Um, and um, yeah, it's crazy because I this is the thing. Ed Gein didn't do like a Ted Bundy or a Jeffrey Dahmer or whatever. Like he didn't just murder somebody and then get like a sick, perverted sensation. Like he didn't. He really disgraced what he like. He was a sick person. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it
yeah,
was.
it was bad. But oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, I think maybe well she even was spotted or she was even you know recorded as coming as being at her hardware store and coming and being told that she was or telling them that she was going to be back the next day to buy something else, right? So like they kind of
Yep. Yeah, and plus it's also like, dude, like you're so looking for your mom, like that, like
yeah
just the two murders, like, and we'll get into the other one in a sec, but like a 58-year-old hardware store clerk, like that is the woman you see when you go, all right, listen, I need to get some like straps or nails or whatever the fuck you're trying to get,
yeah
and you just, oh, hi, Gavin. How's your day? Oh my God, how's Skylar? Oh my, I hope your dad's like that's the kind of woman she was.
yeah.
And again, like I said in the beginning of all this, like Freud would have fucking loved this guy in such a weird way.
Well, we know what else is funny.
What
Bernice Warden's son, deputy sheriff Frank Warden.
did I didn't know that.
Really? Yeah, he was the deputy sheriff. He was the first. He was the one to enter the store and find the
Damn.
cash register open, and there being
Yep.
bloodstains on the floor.
Oh, that was.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't peep that. Okay, I
yeah.
didn't
So that
make that
was that
connection,
was her
or
son.
I didn't read that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but but yeah, I mean, it was crazy because they knew Geen, like they knew him, right? They knew he was in the store. They knew he was the last person to see her alive. They
Yep.
knew that her truck was seen leaving the back of the store at around nine
Yep.
o'clock in the or 9:30. Um, so they knew who this guy was. They knew what was happening, so they knew exactly what they had to go do. Now,
Well, they
obviously,
even found like a receipt as well. Like I
yeah,
know that was one of the things that stuck out was like the last receipt they found before Bernice disappeared was, of him making a purchase. And like I think when I heard that, and I remember that very distinctly. I was like, holy shit, thank God this guy decided to purchase something.
yeah,
Because like, they look at certain things, they're like, okay, the truck's gone, there's blood, this yada yada yada. That is the icing on the cake.
yeah.
That's one of those things where it's like you hear about it in like court cases and you're like, thank fucking God you're an idiot.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, imagine if the son didn't go there, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they thought there
Hmm.
people like the residents of the town kind of thought she was leaving because it's hunting season, right?
Hmm.
Whatever the case, maybe we're not gonna hear from her for a while. Whatever.
Sure,
Come
sure,
to
sure,
find
sure.
out, it was actually this psycho actually got a hold of her. But this is what leads to the police arresting him, um, and they find some pretty intense stuff in his house. So I'm looking at it here because there's just so much. Um, so yeah, so basically, the way what happened was she was found. Her body was found in a shed on Gein's property. Um, she was hanging upside down by her legs with a
Hmm.
crossbar at her ankles and ropes at her
Yep.
wrists. Um, and
Ironically, good. Sorry, sorry.
she had been dressed like a deer, which
Yeah,
which is in like taking out the organs and the right? Like
Well,
the
that was the wild thing that I didn't know until like 2 days ago was when the police and all that are so used to, deer and hunting and all that kind of stuff. When they were going through, the one officer, I don't remember his name, brushed past her body and didn't think about it because he thought she was a deer.
really,
Well, because yeah, because I don't know if it was dark, whatever was going on, but they're going to check this out, and there's just this woman hung up, and at first glance, you're like, no, like so that time people weren't like people were sick. Obviously, there was
hmm
obviously murders, but serial killers were they just weren't as prevalent. People, especially in like Wisconsin, aren't prepped for something like that. They don't have years of history of like serial killers and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, all right, well, we're gonna go into the shed, see what the fuck's up. Maybe we'll find a dead body. And the last thing I think they expected to see was a woman gutted, hung up like a deer, drained, and like I couldn't imagine being that police officer walking in there, brushing up against a woman, thinking, "Oh, that's a deer. That's not a fucking deer," and they couldn't even recognize the body.
yeah, yeah. No, and like it's just like going through some of the stuff that they found. Ah, all right. So obviously we're not going to go through all of them because there's an abundance, but the police investigated his house and they searched it, and what they found was just some of the things that they found included um, whole human bones and fragments, a waste basket, or like a trash can made of human skin,
Yep.
human skin covering several chair seats. They found Mary Hogan's face mask in a paper bag. Mary Hogan's skull, who's obviously Mary Hogan is the second victim that we like the confirmed murder or the confirmed victim of Gein. Found her skull in a box, right? And Mary Hogan was a 54-year-old tavern worker, and they found her at the scene. So you know, um, he kills a 58-year-old woman and a 54-year-old woman. Um, Kind of looking like there's going to be a pattern here of who his victims kind of are. Um,
Telling you, man, Freud.
yeah, they found um, four noses in his house, a lampshade made from the skin of a human face, and fingernails from female fingers. That's not everything. Like I said, that's not all they found, but
Yeah.
that's good. It's enough, I think. Um,
I
but
really just I really just need to know how people like can just because there's one thing with gore of like us going on crazy shit.com and all that kind of stuff. But there just has to be a level like I know they go, these are serial killers, they're fucked up people, they don't think like we do. And I know that's obviously that makes sense. But in my head, I'm like, dude, like that's just like how like if I look at a human, right? And I see someone, I'm like, why how could someone just do that? What makes you so interested in the human body that you just need to take it apart? Like, isn't it better to like
Well,
I don't know,
I
dude.
think it's like there's a couple different reasons. I mean, you got like those people that are really like a sexual perverted, like
Yes,
whatever.
yeah,
Um, you have the people that just really like anatomy. You have the crazy people that don't know what they're doing. Like, and what I mean, like the people like anatomy, like they want to like touch human bones and like that kind of thing. But all these people are sick. Like something's not right
I
within
know,
their
yeah,
heads. Um, I don't know. Like I don't think you'll ever be able to understand them.
sure,
Because you can understand like this guy. He had a rough life,
yeah,
but you don't do that because you have like what I'm saying. Like something is just not right within his brain.
yeah.
But
No, it's just
and we know something wasn't right within his brain because he was 16 years old and he was talking about he wanted to be well not he basically um when he was 16 years old, he was a social outcast, right?
yep,
Fast forward, but he loved his mom. Fast forward, his dad dies, and then his
Yep.
mom has her strokes. Everything's going wrong. His mom
Yep.
finally dies.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
He talks about when she died, creating a woman suit so that he could become his mother to
Oh, I didn't know
literally
this.
to literally crawl into her skin. Now, he was reported to have been a grave robber, being at the
Yeah.
grave site of over 30 graves, and saying
See,
that he would
yeah.
but he himself denied having sex with any of the exhumed bodies because they quote smelled too bad end quote.
Yes. He exhumed like 30 corpses from the local graves in Plainfield. Yep. He kept the body parts
Yeah.
and he kept the skin as prizes,
Yep.
which I good job, bro.
Now,
You
like I
you
said,
are a fucking weirdo.
Mary Hogan, who was a tavern owner, she he first admitted to killing her. Then, well, they found her body parts in his house, but then he
I wonder how those
later.
got there.
I know. He then later denied any memory of her dear details of her death. Um, you know, I just you know,
Yeah, dude, it's like I don't know. I mean, killing people is obviously just fucked up, and then just everything on top of it. Making lampshades. Like I know you mentioned, which I didn't know this either. He made a corset out
yeah,
of a woman's skin, and it's things like that where it's so perverted, and I know like we're never really gonna understand, but um, it's one of those things where like in the Dahmer case, I really wish they allowed the brain to get um like looked on
yeah,
because there is just so much psychology that we know with like reuptake or now especially with like SSRIs we can understand how the brain works on the reverse spectrum and things like that. But exhuming 30 people, right? And
Well, he was like, "Oh, at least I didn't have sex with them."
oh, because God forbid that's where he draws the line.
Yep,
But let me take their skin
and wear it.
and wear it as a prize.
Yeah,
And then like you always see those it's gonna be a fucked up thing, but like you always see like it's Halloween time, and you always see like those eyes that are glowing.
yep,
Man made a lampshade out of faces. Eyes
yep.
are definitely glowing.
Yikes. Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
yeah,
dude.
it was pretty sick. And I mean, anybody can do their research on it. Go find his Wikipedia page, find his, the people that are like in studying his life like thoroughly. And dude, it's just, it's sick. He was a sick man. But he's not even a man. I mean, look what he's doing.
Yeah.
Um, but eventually, Gein obviously being arrested. His trial was set on November 21st, 1957, where he was arraigned on, and charged, or he was arraigned on the count of first-degree murder, um, and he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, let me ask you this, buddy: if you're in, how many insane people do you know that say, "Yeah, I'm insane"?
Probably none.
Right. I don't think he was nuts. I don't think he was. I think he knew exactly what he was doing, and he just
I would
couldn't control
agree.
himself. I don't think he was nuts. However, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and found mentally incompetent.
To stand trial, yeah.
Right now,
Yep.
he went to obviously he went to a crazy hospital. He went to but he's not. He was. I don't. I don't think he was that nuts. I don't think he was nuts to be put away.
Well,
Um,
see, neither do I. And then it says here, after almost 10 years, a doctor finally declared him sane enough for trial, which I think he would have been sane as a sane trial in the beginning
yeah,
parts.
probably.
But 10 years.
Yep.
Yes, they convicted him, they sent him to a hospital. But I feel like for families like that, right? For this small town in Wisconsin, for these women who they might not have been staples in the community, but they were definitely these women that people looked up to, that they were just doing their job, they're just living the rest of their life, they're just relaxing, maxing all cool. And 10 years, they declared him sane enough for trial.
Yep.
And then within that week, he was then, charged with first degree murder.
Right.
But he was considered clinically insane, which there's just some shit like and I know we keep referencing the Dahmer case, but I guess it's just so popular. I'm just so matched with information.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, it's someone like him where he's like, listen, I might not really be insane. Like, this is just how I am. And I think this whole reason of insanity thing, I don't buy this in this case. These are such meticulous, like, you have to be a meticulous person
Yeah.
to decide to hang a 58-year-old woman,
Hmm.
hanging them up from the rafters in your shed and gut this person.
Yeah.
Sorry for being so graphic, but gutting this person, hanging them out to literally dry,
Yep.
and then it being so fucked up and so meticulous that this man goes, "That's a deer. Oh shit, that's not a deer. We found Miss Warden." Like,
Yeah.
that is, like, I genuinely, like, there are a lot of cases out there where, like, some dude might have had a compassion, but he is like, he has schizophrenia, or you something happens and, like, it's a legitimate aspect of insanity. Like, this person wouldn't have done this if he didn't have schizophrenia. They didn't have stage 2 bipolar. They didn't have this or that or this or that.
Yep.
And, like, that's insanity. This is a calculated thing that this person was so messed up. He should have seen the electric chair.
He should
Because
have.
I
Well, I
feel
think
like,
he should have seen a lot worse than the electric chair.
oh no, I agree. That's just the first thing that came to my mind. But I
Yeah.
think, like, if like, I know if someone, right, if someone took you out, right?
Yeah.
Took my mom out, my dad out, one of my family, you know what I'm saying? I would be so angry watching the trial and watching this man or woman take you out, do all this shit to you, and then know the kind of guy you were, and they just deface you like that.
Hmm.
And what, they get clinically insane, go to a mental hospital.
Oh wait, did you just say deface?
What?
It's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Damn, man, that window's looking mighty nice to jump out. So,
No.
but no, dude, like, that is one of the things that bothers me, and it it it's just, it's not fair. And I think that's the thing with, again, and I'm sorry I keep referencing. You can please stop me if I get annoyed with it. But with the whole Dahmer cases, like, the families are getting pissed off because they're romanticizing a serial killer,
Uh huh.
and
To
it's
calling him
like,
hot and shit and talking about, well, no, like,
no, dude, that's
right, get
fucked up. And
roundhouse, roundhouse. But
that would have
but
been
no,
absolutely funny if you just got up and roundhouse your mic.
no, but no, and I agree with you. I mean, there's no way for anybody that's has any moral compass or anything like that to be able to look at something like this guy did or anybody like that does and say that it's, you know, I understand. Like, I find things like this interesting. I find cases like this interesting, but because I would rather be in the know and kind of try to understand what's happening and, like, you know what I mean, like what's happening in their brains or what's happening, like what caused this, instead of just being like, oh my god, I don't want to hear anything about it ever because I want to live in a bubble and bad things don't happen because like, no, bad things happen to people every day. This
Yes.
obviously is up on the upper echelon of that, but um, I still would like to know about it.
Yeah.
And then obviously in terms of or the ending of Gein, he ended up dying in July 26th, 1984, at the ripe old age of 77. Um, I mean, that's, listen, after what he did,
Thank God for heart failure.
that's 30, or no, what is that, 57 to 84? That's almost 30 years. 27 years, right?
Yeah.
27 years, uh, too late, in my opinion. Um, but what's crazy, and this is how you know how what kind of moral compass Hollywood is on. They saw
Yep.
this and said, "Oh, well, you know what we're gonna do." First one to talk or to do something like this was Alfred Hitchcock with Psycho, right? Recreate kind of some of the stuff
Mhm.
he did.
Yep.
Then more faith, more some more current movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. Huh.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Right.
sense. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all.
What about Buffalo Bill from um, Silence of the Lambs? They put the lotion
See
in the basket.
see, that's the thing that interests me. so much, and that's why, like, like in school, like, I love taking the psych courses. Is no matter how fucked up something is, right? And you and I can say whatever we want, right? We like, it's fucked up. This guy should die, but we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're not romanticizing it in any facet,
Right.
um, because then we would have to beat ourselves up because it's fucked up. But you look and like, there's even like in '74, um, Deranged
Hmm.
was a movie that came out,
Yep.
right? In the light of the moon, like
He's even
it,
credited as having being the inspiration for a character in American Horror Story. You know what I'm saying?
like, dude, I get it. I get it. It's a phenomenon. It's creepy. It's scary that we have an entire holiday dedicated around murderers and ghouls and goblins and vampires and blood-sucking things, but it's like I feel like when you romanticize something like that, and again, I'm gonna say it again, you know, Dahmer got same thing with Bundy, got actual letters and money,
Yeah.
and it's like people who are making these movies, making these videos, making things like Dahmer, the Ted Bundy tapes, right? All this kind of stuff is like you're adding more to the romanticized aspect. Like if this guy went to jail and didn't die, I think it would have been worse. I think he would have gotten a lot of "Oh my god, I love you. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Well, I think
marry me."
I think too. Why? One number one. It's the same thing with school shooters. Why do we publicize? Why do we like publicize and like over publicize the people and like what they do and
Hmm.
like okay, we're talking about we're talking about a serial killer that like in terms of Jeffrey Dahmer, and okay, you know what, whatever. Let's talk about Ed Gein. So in terms of somebody like Ed Gein, they make movies about what stuff that he did,
Hmm.
and like in Ted Bundy and in Jeffrey Dahmer's case, they make not only do they make movies and TV shows regarding what these sick individuals did, but they choose to cast the best looking actors to play these guys. Right,
Yeah,
Ted Bundy was played by Zach Efron, great looking man, and
smash.
and
Sorry,
Jeffrey Dahmer was played by Evan. What is his name? Evan Peters.
smash. Sorry. Go ahead.
Good looking man too.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Why would you not? Why like? It pisses me off because people look at that and they go, "Oh, he's so hot. He's so no no no." And I understand they're talking about Evan Peters, the person, not the character of
hmm
Jeffrey Dahmer.
hmm
But he's still playing Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, see, you know what's wild about that is if you look in like soccer, you look in football, it just happened. You see some guy run on the field,
Yep.
right? And the cameras like just pan away. Like
Yeah.
they're not showing you that dude because they don't want somebody else to do that.
Exactly.
They're not romanticizing this man because they know, I mean, obviously it's not the same spectrum, but I'm just showing you on such a smaller scope where this dude just ran on the field.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want this to happen again because $1 million
Oh, but
more.
then a
They're
kid goes
reviewing
and
the game.
shoots up a school, and they're like, "Hey, this is his name, where he grew up. This is why." And they show good pictures of him too. It'll be him like on his prom night, like, "Hey, hey," and
Yeah.
he's in there
Hmm.
shooting up kids. And then they're
Yeah.
like, we won't want anybody else to do this, but let's tell you how he did it and how
Yeah.
he almost got away with it. Like it's mind blowing to me.
Hmm.
Like what is okay? Would it not have the same impact, right? If they said instead of going into detail about whatever the school shooter was or the serial killer, whatever it is, where they just said, breaking news, 4 children dead in a school shooting. The perpetrator has been apprehended and kids are going to the hospital. The perpetrator is in police custody. Whatever. You know, and then they just talked about the victim's well-being or like the like stuff like that. They don't have to spend 16 hours a day talking about yeah, this guy he was raised in a like no like no. You don't
And that's the
get
thing. Like, there should be way more stories about Bernice Warden or Mary Hogan,
yeah,
or even the other potential victims. Like,
exactly.
they even say too, as there's many mysteries involved. in like the death of his brother and all this stuff, and like either his father died of alcohol abuse, but it's like you're gonna tell me you have all this shit going on, and you're not even gonna look into his brother.
Mm,
It's just gonna be questionable. Like, I'm sorry, like if you have someone like Ed Gein who can do these kind of things
yeah.
and have the family problems he had, why not just check it the fuck out? Because I'm sorry, this might be a little ignorant to say, but I feel like at that time there wasn't much going on in Wisconsin, right? You know what I'm saying,
Dude,
bro?
come on, man. It's
Come on,
Wisconsin.
man,
Wisconsin.
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 Oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
I just
It gets me riled up because it's very infuriating to sit here and have to see this kind of thing happen on like a, you know what I'm saying, um on like a national scale, like, and I don't know, but
and I do think they should come down harder. Like people can say as much as they want, they don't like the death penalty, they don't like all this, and for certain things, I could agree. Like I know Pennsylvania is really big on rehabilitation,
yeah,
right? That is the one thing. Like they might be more questionable to maybe put a 19-year-old into jail for a certain crime. Obviously, if it's murder, it's a different story.
yeah,
But they'll be a little more reluctant to do something like that. But if you have cases like this, don't let anyone fucking show up to the execution.
right.
Get them the fuck
Don't
executed.
let the
Expedite
news
that shit.
reporters,
No,
look at
no,
like, dude, it no. Nope.
yeah, no, and
Get
and
him
then
in,
you're
get
gonna
him out.
have this. Yeah, get him in, get him out. And it's like, all right, there's an argument this guy was insane. Obviously you have to be
Yeah,
insane to hang a woman up in your shed
yeah.
uh, and gut her. But dog, you're gonna like I know the whole eye for eye thing isn't PC or doesn't cope well with of structuredized uh worldly thing. Like, you know something
Yeah,
that I consider Old Testament. Fucking kill this guy. Like,
yeah.
yes, we haven't had a serial killer situation in a while, and that's a good thing. Let's keep it that way, guys. Really would appreciate that.
Well, apparently there's over
Um,
200 active serial killers at any given time in the United States.
I don't get it.
Just
I
because of
don't
all
get it, man.
the publicity, man.
Well, when you romanticize it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, nah, fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Brittany Swarden. Let's talk about Mary Hogan. Let's talk about the other victims. And I feel like the more you romanticize something like that, and making something like a Dahmer, and then you have families coming out. Like I'm sure if they made like a clip about Ed Gein
Mm-hmm.
and how his home life was so sad, and they do like a nice actress who plays his mom. Oh my God, Ed, how could you ever have turned into such a monster?
It's not that I
No,
like to play with their skin. It's just I can't help myself. Oh, poor Ed.
no,
Everybody.
that shit. No, dude.
Nah.
It.
But I feel dirty now. So I'm gonna wash my hands of this topic, I think. Um but yeah, no, I think this kind of thing is sick, and it's definitely unfortunate that we have to deal with this kind of thing in everyday life.
Yeah,
Um but it is what it is, man.
it is what it is.
It do be
Hopefully
what
one
it
day.
be.
Hopefully one day they will let the families execute them.
Yeah,
That'd be a wild fucking day.
imagine they
Could
just put him in
you?
a room and they're just like, here's a bat, an ice pick, and a gun. But the gun doesn't have any bullets. Make it work. And then they're just beating the shit out of this person. Like,
There was a case in Texas where the father killed the guy that raped his daughter,
oh yeah, it was
and he went free.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That also just happened with a former UFC champion in the heavyweight division, Cain Velasquez.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, so I know he came out good, but so I didn't read back into the case, if I'm being honest. So I am ignorant now. I was very informed then, ignorant now.
Right.
Just because I'm an idiot. I just want to get that out there. Um, was did he beat and kill the right guy?
I think
Because
so.
Okay, cool.
Was
All
it
right.
the wrong? Was the he? Was,
Well, there were rumors or speculation, or was it? I don't know what it was. So don't quote me on any of this. But I know they were like saying it was the wrong guy. Everyone's like, "Yo, we're gonna get you money." Then they're like, "Yeah, this is the right guy," but he was getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars
yeah.
from people. Like, "Hey, dude, good job, proud of you."
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like the one. A couple years ago, I heard this story about this one guy got arrested and went to prison for like killing like 7 people or something like that. Comes to find out, he was going to, or not, maybe not killing, but maybe he was assaulting. I don't know. But he was going to child molesters' houses that were out of prison and beating the shit out of them because they were child molesters.
Listen, dude, I know people are gonna disagree with this statement. I'm not gonna personally do it, but I think if they're actually convicted and they've done it, I genuinely don't see anything wrong with it. Like, obviously, I know like vigilantism. I know that's like an actual word. I know
But
vigilante
that's
is,
how
but
Batman got started.
beating up pedophiles. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I
I
don't think that's how. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I think Batman would beat up a pedophile, but I don't know.
dude, there's the one of the best bumper stickers I've ever seen in my life. I
Ted
was
Cruz ain't
driving
my
down.
son.
Oh man,
That's the best
I
one
don't
I've
know.
ever seen.
I don't know what bumper stickers you're seeing, my brother. But please stop.
It's a picture of Ted Cruz and this man ain't my child.
I will pay you to unlearn that. I'm crying. No,
Uh,
dude, it was the best kind of pedophile. Oh no, yeah, there was
what?
stop it. The best kind of pedophile is a dead pedophile. I saw that one on a typical liberal,
Okay,
but I saw one in person. It was a dead pedophile doesn't reoffend.
that's true.
And
That's
I was
true.
like, you know what? That could not be any more true.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Beat of the key, man.
beat of the game. But all right, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
We got stuff to go. We got going on today.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
Yeah, I got some stuff to set up today. Um,
do. Nice, nice. Oh, right,
oh,
right,
very
right,
nice,
right.
very nice.
Very nice, very nice. But yeah, man, we're gonna have some. I know we were talking about doing some of the stuff for the podcast next week, all that kind of stuff. So, guys, seriously, we have a lot of cool things coming up for you. A lot of cool topics, a lot of cool things, a lot of cool stuff, all cool things.
A lot of me
Kevin's
dancing.
gonna a lot of what?
What?
Can we do a compilation of you dancing?
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to vigorously master. So, as I was saying, please make sure you guys are tuning in. We are on YouTube, Spotify, everything, Apple Music. It's all free. We want you guys to listen and enjoy. If you want, drop a like, and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. But guys, we really, really appreciate it. We got a lot of love and some interesting comments on our last one.
Yeah, we got a lot of
So
love on the last video we put out, and we appreciate it. Like I said, all feedback is good feedback. You could tell us we're the best thing you've ever heard in your life. You could tell us we're the worst thing you've ever heard in your life. But guess what? Feedback is feedback, and we appreciate it. So
yeah,
if you guys have some opinions or some thoughts, definitely drop them down in the comments below. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, hit us up on Instagram. We have the Stuttering in Silence pod, or Stuttering in Silence, right? Yeah, on Instagram.
yep,
Hit us with a DM, something like that. Even go to the YouTube and comment on one of our videos. We'll see it. We'll answer you. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. You
that's
got
it.
anything else, Matt?
No, sir. I think
All
it's time to
right.
sign off.
Well then, Matt and everybody else, see you in the next one.